In the last section, you learn about how to take a picture from a camera or a photo library and then upload it to the Firebase storage. And that is great. But we also need to save all of these incidents, which consist of the title, the description, and the image URL, and also the user ID, that who created this incident, who's reporting this. So all of these things have to be saved somewhere, and we're going to be saving it into Firebase Firestore database. If you go to your console, you can see the Firestore link. If you click on the Firestore link, if this is the first time you are launching Firestore, you might see a sign over here saying that enter or create the Firestore database. Go ahead and press on that button. Go to the rules section and make sure that this date is current date. Well, current as in this date is correct, meaning that you can read and write and you are allowed to add the files to the database or add the data to the database and also to read data from the database. Actually, this particular database is currently in test mode, and that is why you can see that it is based on time and not whether you are authenticated or not. So this, if you're creating your Cloud Firestore database, make sure to set it up to be test mode, and then later on we can change it to production or release mode, but test mode is perfectly fine. Okay, so let's go back. Now the first thing that we need to do in order to add the data to the database is to create some sort of a model. If we are following the MVVM design pattern, model view model pattern, we have to create some sort of a model where we can populate all the data, and then the Firebase API can take it over, use that data, and send the request and create an incident. So I'm going to go to this model folder, create a new file, and I will call it incident.dart. Now this particular model folder can contain some other logic like business rules, but we don't really have any business rules. So we are kind of treating this particular model as a DTO, which is called a data transfer object. This is not the view model. This is a data transfer object, or you can just say a model or a client-side model. So let's go ahead and create a class called incident. In the incident class, we will have all the properties that describes the incident. So what kind of a properties we need? Well, we need the user ID because this particular user ID is reporting the incident. We need the title. That's the title of the incident. We need the description. That's a description of the incident. Maybe in the description of the incident, they're saying where the incident is. It's on an intersection of this road and this road. The photo URL. This is a URL that we will get from the Firebase storage after we have successfully uploaded the photo. And obviously the incident date, because we want to sort them in the most recent incident. Next, we're going to go ahead and create a constructor for this particular class, which is incident. So you can see that we need to pass in the user ID, title, description, photo URL, incident. We have to pass in everything. Now we already learned that in order to add something to the Firebase Firestore database, we have to supply the Firebase API with some sort of a dictionary, which is also called a map. So we're going to create a function which is going to take an object of type incident, basically an object of this class that we are in, and it is going to allow us to create a dictionary out of it, which is known as a map. And it's pretty easy because all we're doing is returning a dictionary with a particular key, which in this case we can say user ID, and the value will be user ID. And we're going to do the same exact process for title, description, photo URL, and incident date. So we're going to repeat this for every single thing. This means that if you have an object of type incident, you can simply call the toMap function on it, and you will get all of this, which is a dictionary representation of the incident object. The other thing that we want to do is we also want to make sure that we are able to create an incident from the Firebase Firestore database document snapshot. And we have done that previously also. So in this case, we can use a factory and we can say incident.fromDocument. So the whole point of this particular function that we are creating, a factory function, which is going to return us an instance, an object of the incident class, is that we can read the documents from the Firebase Firestore database. We can put the document right here. We can pass a document as the first argument. So I'm going to go ahead and pass in a query document snapshot. And based on the document, we can go ahead and create an instance of the incident object. So for that, just going to go ahead and return the incident object like this. And DOC over here, or a document, just is kind of like a map, or you can simply access it like a map property. So we're passing in different things. So over here, we're saying, give me the value of title, give me the value of description, photo URL, user ID, incident date. So we're doing all of those different things. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and refresh it. Now, obviously, right now, it's not really going to do much. So the next step for us is to make sure that we are trying to save the incident. Now, whenever we are saving the incident, we will have to take help from our Add Incidents page. Add Incidents page uses the Add Incident View model. Currently, in the Add Incident View model, the only function that we have is called the upload function, which simply uploads a selected file, a photo, and it eventually gives you the download URL. So after that process has been completed, we will go ahead and also create another function inside the Add Incident View model, and we will call it for saving an incident. So let's go ahead and do that in the next lecture.